Hey, Robyn Scherr-Well, the head coach at the University of Evansville. We're going to talk a little Missouri Valley hoop in particular. We're going to talk about the resurgence of the Evansville Purple Aces. Robyn, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Happy holidays.
Well, happy holidays to you. First off, I want to get right to it. Your team is 6-4. Last year, Evansville only won 6 games, only won 2 in the league. I know it's a different roster and it's a different mix of people. And certainly in your first year, things are a little different. But I mean, I don't know if the group of kids that you have coming back was ever over 500 in their careers at Evansville.
I'm not sure. I don't think they were, but yeah, we just, it's been a fantastic group to coach. Half returners, half new players, and they just jumped in with 2 feet from day one. And it's been a great journey so far, but we're not done. So.
Well, you're known as a builder. You're someone that has built other programs. You've come in and you've established your culture, your identity, which sometimes I think are overused cliches in our game. But let's get right to it. Like, what is it about the way you go about building your infrastructure that allows your players to have immediate success?
We started with a couple things. I mean, the first thing was giving them a very clear basketball identity. But I think it goes much beyond the X's and O's. I think the biggest thing was getting them back to having fun, playing with joy. We talk about this. We have like 2 sayings in our program, play to win and play with joy. And to me, those are, especially when you're coming off a couple losing seasons, it's hard. Losing stinks, like it's not fun. And you have to, when you're rebuilding, you have to get back to those original things, like why kids fell in love with basketball in the first place, the joy that you find in playing the game and getting better at it each day. And even finding joy in those days that are a grind. And so, we try to keep that at the forefront of what we're doing.
At the time of this taping, your team is averaging about 77 points a game heading into conference play. So you said basketball identity. What is it?
Certainly pushing pace, playing up tempo, and that's on both ends of the floor. But, certainly we started a bit with our offensive identity of trying to get out and run in transition, and then teaching what good shots look like in that, because we're not a team that's just trying to jack it up in the first 8 seconds of the shot clock just for the sake of doing that. We do spend a lot of time on what is good shot selection within that fast pace. And if we don't have it in early transition, we are going to run offense. But even in that, there's pace to that too. And what does that pace look like? And how are we getting to screens? And what does our pace look like, within those actions? And then on the reverse side of things, getting out and pressing and making that part of our tempo as well. And trying to make teams uncomfortable, try to make them take shots that they're not comfortable with or might not be the best shot for them, in hopes that we can go rebound it and let that, kickstart our offense.
So Robyn, if one of your players doesn't execute exactly right, maybe takes a shot too early or doesn't set the screen on the right angle, what are the ramifications for that? And how do you teach them and help them not make the same mistake twice?
That's something, I mean, we'll talk about it, especially if it's in a game, like that might be something assistant will talk about with them when they come off the court. I try not to get too bent out of shape over that stuff, especially right now when we've got, a quote unquote young team, and because they're young with us, right? So they might not be young in class, but they're young with us. And I never want them overly thinking about shots. Like I want them to feel some freedom to go out and play basketball and let it fly. And we're trying to continually teach what is a good shot for each kid. But yeah, I try not to get too bent out of shape when it maybe is not the best shot choice in that moment, and just try to teach them through it. And hopefully it gets better, as the game goes and they learn from it.
Well, I love that you see the game, I think, through an offensive lens. That's the way I see it. And you've got 2 really good offensive players. You've got 3 that have scored more than 26 in a game. No one's had that. But let's speak specifically to Janiah Davis, who is one of 21 players on the national level that is averaging over 21 points. So that's significant. And then you've got Abby Fight, who's your returner, who's averaging 19 and 10. She's averaging a double-double. She's one of 28 players to be doing that on the national level. So you got some firepower.
We sure do. And that's, I promised Abby coming in, like, we're going to have other players around you that can score and take some of the attention off of you. And certainly, with Janai Davis and Maya Clark are one of our other guards who's putting up double-digit figures. And then we've got about 3 kids after that on any given night could score in double digits too, right? So we're typically getting anywhere from 3 to 4, even maybe in a couple games had a 5th player in double digits. So you can't just totally key in on one player with our team. And I think that's been part of our success so far, is that scoring can come from a couple different players. But Janai has had a pretty special start to the season. And man, she's kind of like a quiet, like all of a sudden you look up and the kid's got 20 points. And you're like, where did that happen?
I want to ask you specifically about Anna Newman's role, because she's been a 4-year point guard. So she has, as a starter, has some experience playing in the league. How's that relationship between you and your point guard, and how does she see the floor versus how you see it?
Anna, I'm so glad you asked about Anna, because I think, statistically, she never jumps off the page, and she is just not getting enough recognition right now because we have players that are putting up huge numbers. But Anna is such a huge part of like what's making our team go. She's just one of the toughest players I've had the privilege of coaching. I mean, she's 5'4" on a good day. And, she just, like, the way she puts herself in front of bigger players, like she's the kid that will take a charge, that will take a hit. But certainly on the offensive end, she's really learned where she needs to be moving up the floor to get the outlet, or when she just needs to run the floor and let one of the other guards take it. And I think she's found that balance really well of like where she needs to run the team and control things, and when she just needs to let it go, and let it fly and just be another part of our offense. But hers and my connection really, it's developed over time, but she's just been a pleasure to coach. I feel like it's very easy to connect with her. I think she has a good understanding of what we're trying to build as a staff and what I'm looking for as a coach. And we've certainly, as we've gotten through non-conference play, she's one of those players where we can communicate in very few words, right? Like we just need to kind of connect eyes. I can give her 2 cues and we're good to go. So I've been very fortunate to have that type of point guard in my first year here.
Robyn, your team is 6-4. You're getting ready to enter conference play, and there's no easy night in the Valley, but you're going to start at Northern Iowa, at Drake. How has your non-conference schedule prepared you for conference play?
We've played in a lot of close games, with some good teams. And I think just having that experience of being in close games and learning how to win helps you prepare. It helps you, head into conference play where the competition ticks up another level. But I think we've gained some confidence from that. And I also think we've learned from our losses. Like our losses were all winnable games in which we honestly, not to take away credit from the teams we played, because they did the things they needed to do to win, but we didn't have great games, and great phases in some of those games. Most recently, like we just didn't play well against Butler. We were without Abby Fight, and it shouldn't have mattered. We needed to be better. So I think that we can learn from those things, and we can take a look at it, and our players are tough enough to look at it and go, yeah, we need to fix that. Like we need to do that better. Like they've embraced that side of being coached as well. So I think all of those things, the positives and some of the areas that we didn't play well, I think those things have prepared us well.
Well, we're looking forward to watching your team in the Valley this year, and congratulations on your great start at 6-4, getting ready to enter into Valley play, Robyn. We wish you well. And Janai Davis and Abby Fight are 2 players for sure we're going to be keeping our eye on.
Thanks, Debbie. Appreciate talking with you.